Throw your hands in the air if you're real as me. Ooh.
Welcome back to the MBH Podcast, Money Buys Happiness, Miami Buys Happiness, Season 7. We're coming on to the end, eh?
We're coming. Wow. Sorry, let me just get my
I don't even think
my
I made
linguistics
sense there.
going over here.
We're coming on to the end?
We're coming on to the end here, guys.
No, we're coming up to the end.
We're coming up to the end.
We're coming up to the end here.
It's been a good rodeo so far.
It's been one of our best rodeos, I will say.
This has been a really fun situation. Welcome back.
Yeah.
To our lovely almost 30,000 subscribers. Shout out
I know how
almost 30,000 of you for being here today.
we're so close.
For being here today.
In the room with us here today.
I got my shirt from Kane Wave if anyone's asking. I did a Zara haul. You know all those Zara hauls you're seeing on IG?
Yeah, I see a few of them.
I'm going to start doing my own Zara hauls. Comment below if you guys would like to see that because
There's going to be zero comments about that. I'm just going to...
no one's going to comment. Don't even comment on it.
All right, guys, listen. You already know the fucking deal. It's me and Ernesto today, host episode.
The guests stopped showing up, so
Yeah.
we're not even going to book guests anymore.
Apparently, yeah, guests don't want to come on anymore. I don't know what happened. Just kidding. But yeah, it's just us today. We're just going to shoot the shit.
I got a bunch of topics and questions
Yeah.
from yours truly.
Yeah, we got a lot of, I got a lot as well. A lot of like people wanting to know our backgrounds and shit on mine. I don't know about the questions for you.
Yeah.
But people wanting to know how things happened, how things started. So yeah, I think that's the route we're gonna take. Usually when we get into a topic, we go on a little bit of a tangent. But
So
yeah.
we were both in Nightlife before.
Okay, is that where we want to go?
I just want to go there for a sec.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go all the way.
And why we were, if anyone's wondering, we both come from a nightlife background.
Yes.
Regarding that, we were just nightlife hosts, so we would just host clubs, host bars, host events, and get people out there, sell tables, sell tickets,
Drink ridiculously.
drink ridiculous amounts of liquor.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, and we got to network a lot, and learn a lot, and see many people in the city and how they move and shake. A lot of the venue owners, a lot of brands, a lot of big sponsorships and stuff like that. So it was cool to engage in that. Obviously, that helped us where we are now. But how did you start off in nightlife? I don't even think I've ever asked you.
That's a great question. Okay, originally I started pretty young. Well, okay, here's the thing. I was that kid who was like going out like fake ID with a fake ID, like 15, 16 years old. I think those were like my first clubs, using my cousin's fake ID.
Damn.
So I was already in it pretty early, like way earlier than I probably should have been. But I got into nightlife while I was working at TD, actually. Funny enough, we were just talking
It's a
about
double
TD.
grind.
It was, I was working at TD straight out of high school. I didn't go to post-secondary, so I didn't go to college, university. My mom was like, yeah, if you're not going to school, get a fucking job. So
Classic.
So she actually went to the bank one day and was like, hey, my son needs a job. I'm like, holy
I love
fuck.
that.
And yeah, anyways, that happened. I ended up working there. I worked there for 2 years, or just under. But in the middle of doing that, like I was always hustling. I was always selling shit. And at that time, a lot of my friends were like heavy, like rave goers, Bell, Digital Dreams, bro, Avicii's coming to fucking, whatever, Rogers Center, this and that. Yeah. And so I was always the guy where I was like, okay, whatever my friends are doing, like if I can somehow make money off of the things they like to do, I'm going to figure it out. So, if at the beginning that was smoking weed, I was selling weed in high school. Then it was, this, and I was selling that. And then it was this, and I was selling that.
So for, some people needed crack.
Some people needed crack. I was selling crack, heroin, whatever you needed, I could have got it.
Nice.
No, I never went that deep. Okay. But yeah, so I was like, fuck, all my friends love to go to these raves. If there's a way I can purchase tickets in bulk and then sell it to them for a little bit more, I'm going to do it. And so that I ended up finding my way into that, and I started doing that. And then naturally, like if you're selling tickets to like these types of events, now you're slowly getting into that nightlife scene, right? After parties for the raves, we're at this club or at that club, whatever. And so, it was kind of just a natural transition from like, hey, I can sell you like tickets to this massive music festival to like, hey, do you want to, if you need a booth or whatever at this club, you need to get in, like I can help you. So it was kind of like a natural progression there. I had a company called Hard Ticket Events.
Hard ticket events.
It was just straight to the point, it was what you needed. I had it for you. Hard ticket events. It was good.
No explanation needed.
Yeah. So that was kind of my progression into it. I had a business partner at the time in that, Alejandro, shout out Ale. He was more of the face of that business. I wasn't necessarily too indulged in it at the beginning. But then I started realizing like, the networking aspect of like promoting, meeting all these different people. I was like, fuck, I probably should get a little more into it. And then, as time went on, 2018, 2019, I started getting more like actually into like really promoting like to that extent. So yeah, that's a very like super summarized version of how I got into it. But yeah, how the fuck did you get into it? I don't think I ever asked you.
I don't think I ever asked me.
Like, when did you start promoting? Like,
well, I came back. I was the same way. I was going out earlier, like in high school and shit, fake ID, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Whatever, going to the big box clubs,
Yeah, classic.
all ages, shit like that.
Yeah.
I think when I came back, from the States, when I was playing soccer there, and a little bit before that, I don't know. I think I started by just wanting to be that guy that people came to, because I realized like no one my age group was really into it in a serious way, right? So I was like, yo, honestly, like it's about to be the next 5-6 years that everyone wants to go out.
Yeah.
And I was just the type of guy that I liked having some sort of power like that.
Yeah.
Like, some sort of
power,
some sort of advantage over others. Like, it was crazy. Like, that's what I seen it as, right? Like, it's like, I can help you with this, that person can't, or
true,
right?
Yeah, okay.
So you would have to come to me. You have no choice. And I liked attention.
Yeah.
I still do.
Yeah.
I have a fucking podcast.
Love it.
No, but I like the attention too. Like, you go to the club and people are asking for you. People are wanting to be with you. People are wanting to be around you. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that came from footy, like being that social kind of aspect to it, like always being around a team, like building a team. I would always, like, on my soccer teams, try and find new players to bring to my team.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. You were doing like
there's
ultimate team in
one
fucking,
team. There was one team I was on. I literally built the whole team.
That's insane.
So like I liked bringing people together for like a common goal.
To get fucked up.
This was to get fucked up, obviously, right? But yeah, I think it was not many people were doing it, and I saw an advantage there. And I didn't know how many people I was about to meet, but I was just like, yo, okay, I can make money, I can go party, which I'm already gonna do.
Anyways, yeah.
And I can bring my friends around, bring girls around, and they're gonna be fucking impressed with me. Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. I started probably when I was like 19.
Okay. But at what point did it get like serious where you're like, okay, because by the time that we like, I think we always knew of each other to some extent, but I think by the time that we actually started maybe collaborating or working together on whatever extent, like when by that time you were like very serious. Like, in my eyes, you didn't go out unless you went out with you straight up. Like, yeah, sure. Listen, no disrespect to the rest of the promoters
of
in
course.
Toronto, but like you were really killing the game at that. But like, I want to say 2018 was when like we kind of started collaborating, and you were like it was like, fuck, everybody knew you. I went out with you like first couple times, and it's just like we'd walk down the street, and every fucking 5 steps it was like, you're Ernesto, you're Ernesto, you're Ernesto. I'm like,
it's a lot, bro. It's a lot,
holy
man. Like that kind of shit is a lot, right?
But when did it get to that point? Like, when did it get to that point?
I think me and you have a different start in the promoting game, whereas I was under a bunch of teams first.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Like,
I never did that.
You never did that, right?
No.
And I worked under promoters like for the first maybe 2-3 years, 4 years maybe.
Okay.
And I got to see like how they moved and the kind of money they were making, and like what they really had to do, right?
Yeah.
And like I started feeling like I could be in their position and just be like, okay, a promoter on my own, and just have my own company, whatever, work through me. And I think after I did that, I started taking it more seriously. Because like the whole bag was mine now.
Yeah.
Right?
Changed everything.
changed everything. And then from there, yeah, I mean, I would put my fucking heart and soul into it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was only going out, I mean, 2 times a week, but throughout the week, like that's when a promoter is doing the damage, right? That's where they're massaging relationships. That's where they're making new relationships, going to meet with people, going to visit stores that maybe the owners come out with you at, restaurants, you know, showing them love. I think I saw the power behind network very early.
Okay.
And then that just made me want to like go so much harder and meet as many people as possible, because I didn't know what I would use this network for.
Well, that's what I was gonna say next, but yeah. Okay.
You never really, like, unless you like you're super ahead of the game and you can plan for the future like that. But when you're 21, 22, 23, you're not really thinking like, oh my God, this fucking massive network, look how many people know me. What am I going to do with it? Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking that.
You're just thinking to keep growing it.
I'm just like, okay, to keep growing. I'm like, I know this is a good thing that this many people know me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's,
yeah,
that was the main kind of like concept behind it all. Like, okay, this is good that this many people know me. This is good. So I'm like, how can I keep this going? And at the time it was just nightlife, right? The more nightlife I can kind of offer to people, the different experiences, right? Like then we started doing some more events, day parties, Halloween parties, St. Patrick's Day party. So we tried to do everything just to kind of capture everyone's attention all the time, right? And then kind of bringing social media in there.
Yeah.
Now this thing came in and you're like, no, but now I don't have to do all this legwork. Mm-hmm. I could just focus online.
Yeah. Where
the attention is actually easier to capture and easier to maintain.
Yeah. And that's where I think
that's when stuff started happening really fast, when I started using the social.
I was going to say that's for like from an outside looking in, that's where it looked like things really took off. Cause then, yeah, like not only were you using social media to help your promo business, but you were like taking it to the next level, and it was really pushing your brand, like you as a person. And so Ernesto, it became like, it wasn't like Ernesto the promoter. It became like Ernesto, like almost like, I remember, I think I said this to you like early on when we started working together more closely. It wasn't like Ernesto the promoter. It was like Ernesto the guy that just anyone calls for anything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. At that point, it just became Ernesto, and it was just like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just call Ernesto or something.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
yo, you need tires for your car. Like call Ernesto because he could probably connect you to a guy who could get you that.
I want to make a point behind that though, because no matter what industry you're in, like if you can help people in a very consistent way. Yeah. Right. So like by that, I mean like, okay, let's say you hit me up Friday and you're like, yo, Ernesto, I'm coming out tonight. Some of my boys, can you take care of us? No problem. Done.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you message me during the week saying your girlfriend wants to go out with her friends at a restaurant, which at the time it's like, why are you going to ask me about a restaurant? I'm just clubs right there. Right?
Yeah. And you don't necessarily make money.
And I don't make money off restaurants or anything, or just sending them bookings. Right. But what do? Then message some owners I know, spend, let's say 20, 30 minutes, make sure it's done.
Yeah. But I think
that's the part where people kind of disengage from. They're just like, okay, he came out with me Friday night. Good. I'll need to talk to this guy until he comes back
to come out again.
And another Friday from now or 2 Fridays from now and 3. So whatever, that's done. Mm-hmm. But I kept my doors open.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So someone can message me for anything really, and I would actually do it at all times.
But it's even like, okay, the point you made of like, club, okay, fine, you make money off it, I'll help this guy out, no problem. Oh, and then his girlfriend needs a reso at this restaurant, you don't make any money, you still did it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like, you were going out of your way it wasn't even like hospitality, bro. I think it was anything. It's like, yo, you know, a guy who can fucking get me these shoes, a guy who can wrap my car, or a guy who can do this. And like, I want to take that for a second and like expand on that, because I think this is for anybody. Like, look how important just making that connection for someone was for your brand and potentially your business, right? If I was a nobody, I didn't know you, or, you know, whatever, I came out with you one Friday, I hit you up, I'm like, yo, Ernesto, I'm looking for this specific, I need plants for my fucking backyard. Everyone tells me you're the guy that can connect me with anybody. And you're like, yeah, no problem, let me figure it out. Boom, you make that connection. Like, now I'm buying anything that you're selling forever.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I'm trying to say to anybody, like, if you're listening to this, it's outside of promoting whatever, it's any business you have. Like, if you can help someone out and it's literally just connecting them with someone else that you know, right? They need something, you're able to connect them with someone who can help them with that. Like, you're earning their trust, you're gaining their business almost forever. When the moment comes that they need something from your specific business, they're coming to you because you made that simple fucking iMessage group 2 seconds, or vice versa. Now, if you need something from them, they're going to hook you up. Hey bro, I know you sell backpacks, bro. My kid's going back to school. I need some backpacks, whatever. Like, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? It's always like it's a revolving door. Like, you help people and it comes back, right? But the making the connections aspect is so important, right? So
yeah, and that's where for me, that's where the fulfillment came.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, let's say you hit me up and you're like, yo, I need my car wrapped. Let's use that one.
Yeah.
Right. And now for me to connect you with the person I know that's wrapping cars, I get my fulfillment knowing, wow, these people can really hit it off, build their own relationship.
Yeah.
And that'll be because of me.
But they'll always remember that.
Yes.
Right? Like, God forbid they build this amazing connection. Who knows? Maybe they become business partners. Maybe he buys 20 wraps off him, whatever.
So, and then
it always comes back to you.
Exactly. And then besides that, you're giving value to 2 different people.
True, because you're bringing him business and you're giving him the connect.
Right? So it's like there's so much winning happening in that one moment.
Yeah.
Where the fulfillment is literally making the connection itself, right?
Yeah.
Because and don't ask for people for anything in return. Like, that's not the whole point of it. You know what I mean? If people are gonna come to you and ask you for a favor, that means they trust you enough to be like, yo, he might take care of it for me. He might do this for me without asking me for anything in return.
But that's
I just kept doing that, a domino effect.
Yeah.
To the point where people felt like they owed me, like their presence, their attention. They felt like they owed me something, right? Which they don't.
Yeah.
But that's the feeling people get when you constantly help them like that. Now, I don't ask for anything in return from anyone.
No, not that I've seen.
Like, we started a neighborhood. That's when we finally started charging people for stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was just during the week relationship building, and then on the weekends, like, activating it.
Okay, I think that was I know we spoke about it briefly on a past episode. I don't remember which, but that was a question that we got. Like, someone was like, yo, can you go into like actual detail of like how the agency started?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question. I think a lot of people want to understand, because man, I talk to guys who, like, even till this day, like, it's crazy. A good friend of mine, good friend of ours, I won't name him, but he's like, bro, you know how many people still to this day hit me up and are like, what is neighborhood, and like, how do you guys make money? Like he word for word, what he said to me was, a lot of people still ask me, like, do you guys make money? Okay, well, I mean, look at us. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try and keep it humble, but like, look at us. You know what I mean? Of course, we're making some type of money. I'm not saying we're billionaires, but we're making decent money. Okay, we're living. So that's the answer. That whoever that was, that's the question. But how we started. Yeah, I think, okay, it kind of bounces off what we're talking about. So when me and Ernesto started collaborating on more promoting shit, I won't get too deep into that. We were obviously spending a lot of time together. You had a little office that I would pull up to, and we would just prep and plan for these parties, think about, you know, cool shit that we wanted to do. And I think initially that was our goal, was like, yeah, we're going to just like keep throwing these crazy banger parties, maybe do a festival one day. Like, that was the initial plan, I think. But very like day to day, because
we were
like,
so good at it.
We were good at it, but
you know
like,
what I mean?
yeah, but I think it was, when I say that plan was very day to day, was because that life is just fucked. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in the promoting world, right? So that was that. But yeah, and in between that, you know, you were doing a lot of like photo shoots for like brands and shit. Brands would hit you up, send you shit, and then you would connect with a photographer. You'd shoot content for them. You know, you'd post it on yours, they'd post it, whatever. So I saw a lot of that happening. And then, yeah, like just people hitting you up, asking you for certain things when it came to like, let's say marketing, like, yo, you know, someone who can do graphics for this, do this for that, do that for this, you know, on a marketing scale. And, yeah, I was literally just like, yo, Ernesto, like, are you charging? I was like, bro, are you charging people for this? Like, making these connects, right? Because it basically what he's saying now, like, it was more narrowed in on marketing, but it was like, yo, I need a photographer for an event. I need a photographer for a photo shoot, videographer, this, that. And Ernesto was just like, yeah, I got you. And then he would just connect the guy to the photographer. And then that was just a clean connection, and there was no money being made. And that's where me, greedy fuck, I come in and I'm like, bro, are you making money off this? And he's like, nah, but I'm just doing it to, you know, because like I know like one day like I can, you know, I'm going to ask them for a favor, or, you know, they're going to come out with me, and that's technically money to some extent. And I was like, dude, like, I hear you, but like you're doing it too often for it to just be like favors at this point. Yeah. It's every day. So yeah, I think I was just like, dude, I think we got to turn this into like a fucking business. And he's like, okay, like I'm down. Let's do it. But bro, we got to call my sister because she's going to like be able to help us structure this out more. So at the time, Ernesto's sister, our partner in neighborhood, Anna.
Shout out Anna.
Shout out Anna, legend. Keeps the bus moving.
Keeps the wheels going.
Keep the wheels turning. She was in Italy at the time, living there. We called her up. Yo, Anna, what's good? Got Anthony over here. Never met him. He's gonna be our partner in this business. I'm like, oh, what's up? Nice to meet you over the fucking phone. And we got to work on it. From that point, it took us a little bit we kind of wanted to come up with a name that made sense for what we were doing, but also didn't lock us into marketing forever. So I came up with the name Neighborhood. Ernesto and Anna loved it. So we rolled through with that, Neighborhood Creative. And then it was about almost a year of me and this guy still promoting, but like in his basement, just like really trying to figure out what our business plan was, which like you can only plan so much, and at some point you got to act.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time planning, probably too much, but you know, it's a lesson we were learning.
I think it's because we were about to offer something very new to people that people weren't really expecting from us.
Yeah, I think
so we wanted to make sure we nailed it, you know?
Yes, exactly. And so we did, and so we did a lot of planning. And then in that planning, we were like, listen, for people to take us seriously, like we need like an office.
Yep.
I don't know why that was the thing, but it ended up being a great move. But at the time, we're like, yeah, we need an office. So we spent like 8 months of that year period planning, like looking for offices and shit. Like, oh man, almost like taking on like $10,000 leases a month, like just crazy shit. Yeah. Thank God we didn't. We landed on our first ever office, which is in the same building that we're in now, but just a couple floors up. And we took that lease on. It was like just under $5,000, I think, a month. We took that on with 0 clients.
0 clients, yeah.
Like 0 marketing clients. And we were like, okay, until we get the ball rolling with this marketing agency, we're going to just keep promoting to pay the bills. But then when it came to actually the marketing stuff, we knew a couple services we wanted to offer. And in that year of planning, we did prep certain things to make sure that when we launched, we could actually offer these services. We weren't just going to be like, hey, we can do your website, but then actually have no clue how to do it.
Yeah.
So we prepped that side of things. And when we launched, we just launched basically was we had a website and we did this I got this little animation done for us, and we just posted online, said now we're offering, these services and this is our new business. And maybe you can talk on like getting our first couple clients and how we did that.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you're kind of rebranding yourself, it's tough. It's difficult, because we were just talking about our backgrounds and where we came from in events and nightlife. And you have to remember, like, maybe not so much you, but when I was going out, I was like posting everything, on my story.
I started after, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? So people had known me as this party guy, this and that. Like, this guy just goes out. This guy just fucking, drinks and this, whatever.
He's all fucked.
He's all fucked up. What does this guy know? Whatever. He's good. He's a good guy. Like, we love him. Yeah. But in a professional setting, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the guy I'm going to trust.
Exactly, right? So I think that was the most difficult part when we're sitting down with people, because social media is a fairly new service, and it was at the time as well. And we had to convince people the importance behind social media.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to touch on that really quickly before you continue. At the beginning of our business, when we were trying to pitch clients, and a lot of it was like restaurants and construction companies and things of those types of natures, very like old school businesses, we had to it was crazy. We had to try and convince them that they needed a social media profile for their business.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that?
It's crazy. You don't have to do that anymore.
No, the days of that is long gone. But we literally spent, an hour and a half pitching a client, and 80% of it wasn't even like, this is what we're going to do for you. It was like explaining to them why they needed a social media page, why they needed an Instagram, why a restaurant needed an Instagram.
I think
crazy.
I think we were so confident when we did that because we were doing social media for our personal brands.
Yeah.
And we know what works. And
we had something to show for it.
We had something to show for it, but we also had our own little recipe that we knew if we put into play, this can actually help them.
Yes.
Like, we were actually confident with that.
Well, that was the beauty, because we weren't selling, like we weren't a bank teller trying to sell RSPs, like something that they didn't believe in. We were selling a service, and amongst all our services, one of our main ones is social media, and we were selling that service specifically, knowing that like it was really going to do good for the client. Like they were really going to see a boost in business, a boost in their brand, things like that. So it wasn't hard. It wasn't a hard sell for us on that end. We were very confident going into it, I think.
Yeah, I think doing that convincing and explaining, that was probably the hardest thing to do at the beginning. And remember, like it was hard because we didn't just say, okay, we're promoters and now that's done and now we're into marketing. Like we were still promoting while we were trying to sell these clients.
And all those things were still on our social medias personally.
Exactly, right? So like you're going out, you're getting crazy that night, and then the next day you're on the phone trying to sell them on a social media retainer, right?
When
they just saw what you did.
Or they're in your office and you're all fucking hungover.
So I think that's the hardest part. But listen, it's a grind. It's a grind for a reason, and we knew that it was going to be tough to kind of portray ourselves as now business owners instead of, let's say, promoters or event organizers. But we did it anyways. And I think that was, for me, I loved that. I loved seeing people's change in opinion.
On you?
Just us in general. I think neighborhood in general.
But I think a big piece of that too was, and like what you're saying, for us to make the transition. So if you're listening to this and you want to make the transition from one business to the next and one industry to the next, what we really found helpful was using our personal brands.
Mm-hmm.
So although, yes, we were in a position where we still had to continue posting the promoting shit because that was paying our bills, every other thing we were posting was like very marketing related, very like personal brand, like we're doing this, we're doing that, whatever, like very professional. So we were using our personal brands to help people start to see us in a new light.
Yes.
Very professional, like we can help your business.
And by like, and I want to go deeper there. Like, it's okay that we were out at night, let's say, posting some fucking bottles, posting a DJ, shots, whatever, because the next day we're showing that we're at a client meeting, or we're showing that we're in the office shooting some content for someone, or
at like 10 a.m., 9 a.m.
Exactly, right? Or showcasing our network. I think when you start a business, any business, you really have to understand your strengths and your weaknesses and your competitors. Right. And I think that if you can understand those three things, and be humble about it, like, and not have an ego with it, you'll realize the steps you need to take. Right. And like, we didn't start off with a lot of money. We were one of these companies that raised 30 million and then started the company. We didn't do that.
We started with $0.
We started with $0. We started with zero probably experience, let's say, in the marketing realm, as people would say. I think we have experience because we marketed events and we marketed Nightlife, right? But at the same time, people don't all see eye to eye with that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so zero money, zero quote unquote marketing experience from a business or professional standpoint.
Yeah, but the thing was, we understood people.
Yes.
Right. So what we did is we focused on marketing neighborhood as an agency. Right. We looked at our competitors. We said none of them are marketing themselves.
Yeah, which was
because they're too busy marketing their clients.
We always found that crazy. Yeah, that was one thing.
And then we said, okay, no matter what, we'll just keep marketing ourselves just to be different from them at least.
Yeah.
And then our network, that was a strength.
Huge.
So we showed it off as much as we could, right? We did stuff like Real Talk, which was like these series where we bring influential people on and we just have like an interview type of process.
If you go to the neighborhood at neighborhoodcreative.co, our Instagram, you just scroll all the way down. You'll see some of like the early shit we did.
So yeah, a lot of content like that, showcasing like our culture, our office. The office was another thing that was a strength for us, right? We were missing something to legitimize ourselves.
We used that. And it was like, listen, it was like a cool fucking office. It was like exposed brick, high ceiling, like cool. Like, and it was like something that people didn't really see in Toronto. We were able to snatch up this spot as soon as we saw it. And so that was another big piece of like the making us legit in this world, I guess.
Just like continuously showing what we were doing.
Yeah.
Made us look bigger than we were. Right?
1,000%.
And then to help that, right? Like we knew this as well. We knew if we came out with a cool brand, cool culture, cool community, and with the office, with our events, with the brands we worked with the people, we were just showing off.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, look how cool we are.
Yeah.
And in return, people wanted to come work with us now.
Yes.
People wanted to come work for us as well. So if you're looking to start something where it's like, because a lot of you out there have businesses where you're probably in a position to get some interns, get some internship help, right? And people always, they ask me especially, they're just like, hey, like, I'm at this stage in my business. How can I get some help? And I don't have $70,000 to give as a salary.
Yeah.
Right? If you portray yourself online, and obviously match it in person, but if you portray it online where this company is cool to work at, you provide value to your team, you give them opportunities to grow, you get to work with cool people in a casual environment, people will come knocking on your door saying, hey, how can I come shadow you, or how can I come intern with you? And then you take them on, train them, have them intern. If they work out, hire them. If
well,
not,
the cool
it
thing,
happens.
and the cool thing about what you're saying is portraying all of these things about your business. It's very simple. It's all done through content.
Everything.
We tried to create this cool brand and this cool culture for our company by just creating cool content. That was it. Just creating cool content for the actual Instagram itself, but then also for our personal Instagrams and stuff, right? Just so it's like, it's crazy. It's 2022, dude. If you don't realize that, you know, content can really change your life as a whole, your business as a whole, yeah, you're slacking. You know what I mean? Like, again, we like from very early, I don't want to say day one, but from very early, we had people wanting to intern for us and work for us or whatever.
No, I would say like 5-6 months into the business. Yeah.
Just because of the content.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a big piece. And then in terms of like getting our first clients, we just went to our network. Like we said, we went to restaurants we knew, people in hospitality or whatever, and just like tried to tell them like, hey, you know, your business could do better with this, and that. And a lot of the times it was like, yo, like some of our earliest clients were like either paying us literally nothing, or we were working for free for a 1-2 month to prove that they needed this service and then charge them after. So we ate shit essentially.
Yeah, we kept taking risks, right?
We ate a ton of shit, you know, to build it up. And it's just funny because we're always at this thing like for our business now where it's like every year, you know, we redo our decks. So like our pricing decks and just figuring out like, you know, based on how much money we make, how much we pay employees, what we have to charge for certain services. And it's funny, we're always like scared to up prices because at the end of the day, our business is, you know, as marketing agency is a business that helps other businesses grow. So we never really want to be in a part where we're trying to charge people too much money or whatever. But yeah, if you're just in a startup position or still early on in your business, be honest with your pricing. You can't charge what the guy who's been around for 20 years is charging. Sometimes even eat shit, do shit for free, do shit to break even, but when you're doing shit for free, doing shit to break even, or, you know, working for free or to any of those types of things, you have to document it with content. Show that you're doing this work. No one knows that you're not making money off of it. No one knows that you're breaking even off it. No one knows that you're losing money doing it, which happened to us plenty of times. What they see is the product, the final product that you've created, right? Yeah. And so, like I said, tons of times we lost money, tons of times we broke even, tons of times we did things completely for free, but we just made sure that when we were doing anything for those three things, we were always documenting it, and so that the final viewer, our potential clients, were just seeing the product. They didn't know that we were losing money, but it showed that we knew what we were doing, and we continued to grow that portfolio. And more clients obviously end up coming on their own, things like that. We've never, till this day, I'm actually very proud of it. We've never done a single dollar of outbound marketing. Nope. No sales ever for our agency. So I won't say our numbers, but based on our numbers, it's very, in my eyes, very impressive. So anyways, that's a very like version of the fucking, how we started.
Like, when you look at the documenting side, like let's say your company has 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
Or your personal brand. And you go to, let's say, a fucking meeting you go have a meeting to pitch the juice house on marketing. Okay. You go to Juice House and now you're there and you don't document it.
Yeah.
Would you rather those 2,000 people know you had a meeting that day or not?
Yeah. And
for me, it's like, I want them to know I had a fucking meeting. I want them to know I'm busy. I want them to know I'm working so that when they keep seeing these meetings, it gets in their head that this guy is working hard.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Like you said that. And on top of that, when we say documenting, I'm not saying, bro, get a whole film crew and get the fucking cinema cameras, the red cam, and start filming everything. You have a fucking cell phone, you have Instagram. So you're going to a meeting, we'll use that as an example, to the juice house to try and pitch them. When you're outside and their big sign is there, on your fucking Insta story, snap a little pic, meeting with at juice house today. Fuck, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Literally that simple. And that's the documenting that we're talking about. So then it's every single day. Meeting with this person, meeting with that person. Or even if it's not a meeting, it's fucking lunch at this spot today. Da-da-da. You're always on the move. And potential clients just want to see like this guy or this girl, like she's always moving. He's always moving. He's always doing something like da-da-da. And then listen, you know, when one day you have meeting at this place and then lunch at this place, they might still think that the lunch at this place is a meeting, even though it's not.
Yeah.
And again, you're just using that to leverage like the idea of I'm fucking busy, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy girl.
People appreciate that journey. You know what I mean? So if you're showing, let's say, last month that you were at the juice house having a meeting, right? And now the month after, let's say now you're at fucking Nike having a meeting.
Yeah.
You can see the growth. You can see like the growth there. I'm not saying
that's
the month
probably,
after.
that's probably like 5 years, but like, yeah.
That's a bigger gap, right? But like people will notice that, especially when you're consistent. So, yeah, just like if you didn't post it, it didn't happen to your audience's eyes.
No,
so that's what you have to remember, right? Like
if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. Which like, again, people will be like, bro, I hate that the world's like that. Well, stop crying about it and just start acting on it.
You can't
use
cry
it to your
about
advantage.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Okay, I got some questions.
Yeah, shoot.
Cool.
Mine are kind of crazy. So,
what does your family think about this career you're pursuing? Great question at tpurdy17. My guy Purdy.
Oh, I like that.
My guy Purdy.
Question. Are you asking me that?
I'm gonna ask you. Yeah.
What does my family think of my profession? They're cool, man. My family's super supportive. I think at the beginning they probably didn't really understand. Like, okay, the promoting stuff, they understood what the fuck it was, and maybe, I don't know, never said anything, maybe didn't love it, but still always supported me, just knowing that this is like my entrepreneurial journey. But with Neighborhood now, I think they finally understand what I do, which is cool, and they're super supportive of it. I think even my dad's try to like toss me some clients and stuff like that, just pretty jokes. And then when it comes to the podcasting aspect of it, I don't know if they fully understand it. I know my dad has watched. Shout out my dad. I know.
Shout out Tony.
Shout out Uncle Tony. He's actually watched a couple episodes, some of the footy ones with some of our good friends because he's a huge TFC fan. But they're supportive. You know what I mean? I don't know. They listen. Like what I would say when it comes to that is, your family may not understand it, especially if it's not like a very like old school type of job or journey or business. But they probably will support. It may be hard in the beginning when they don't understand it. But if you stay consistent enough in it and grow with the business, then they will eventually start learning to understand it and probably even support more. But my fam's cool. My fam's cool with it. They get it.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I think they see that I'm happy. So if they see I'm happy, like why would they ever hate that, regardless of like how much money I make or don't make? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how about you?
Yeah, same way. I mean, like they I think my parents just trust me to make the right decision. I think that's how they raised me, you know, and it's hard to explain what we do to like our parents sometimes, right? Like especially at the beginning, like what we were doing, like, yeah, companies pay us to be on their social media, right? And they're just like, what are you talking about? Like someone pays you to be on there. And like you the way I figured I had to do it was kind of show the wins to them that I knew they'd understand.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That
So
makes
like
sense, yeah.
Not so much, let's say, oh mom, we just did a crazy interview today with so-and-so who we know is huge, but she's like, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead of that, maybe showing her like, I don't know, like a big client that we just did work for, or like a testimonial from a client saying something that they really liked about working with us, or like it's easier now with social media because I feel like my parents are now on socials.
True.
And then when they see me on socials,
they understand.
They kind of understand. And my mom was always around me too when I was younger, and she was like, she saw like the effect I had on people and people asking where's Ernesto. So she
Yeah.
always knew I was doing something good.
Yeah.
She maybe didn't understand it, neither did my dad. But like I said, when you're starting to be able to do things like buy your own car, pay for your own expenses.
Yeah, those are the wins in my eyes.
And that's what they cared about. They're like, listen, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you think you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that you take care of yourself when it comes to money and finances. Now they helped with some stuff, obviously,
Of
but
course.
you know, like I think that's a main thing. Like if they see you making money, right?
Well, I mean, look, listen, for like I'll say an old school parent to understand anything, if they start seeing the money rolling in to some extent, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
something good is happening.
Or tell them something that they might understand a bit more. Like, hey, like we actually hired someone on our team today. They can understand that. They can understand a team getting bigger. That means you're probably doing well.
Yeah.
It's hard to give them the nitty gritty of like, Mom, we just got this influencer campaign for and like this is how big the brand is. Like, you're not gonna get through.
You
really,
got to
right?
hit them with like the more like
You gotta understand how to kind of like tell them what they'll understand. But yeah, they're cool with it, man. And then now they see us now too. So
yeah, I think that helps. And then yeah, I mean, like, look, like I think with a lot of like I'll speak to the podcast more specifically, although it's not necessarily a career. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like obviously, you know, we chop up the clips and we post them on some of them on our personal accounts, and some of them have been, especially over the last year, some pretty, let's say, controversial takes or whatever, very against the mainstream vibe. And I think that was I wouldn't say that's like tough for my family, but I think like, you know, because they follow me specifically, and then I know some of their friends do, and I'm sure there were some like, you know, just some weird moments where it's like, you know, my dad's, let's say, hanging out with some of his buddies and they think a certain way, and then but they're seeing what I'm saying online and whatever. I think at that point it just comes down to like, I'm gonna say like the most simple thing, like just not giving a fuck.
no, you can't.
You know, like I think when we decided to start this podcast and we knew, you know, that we may say things that people don't like, you know, from day one till now, it was always just like, well, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like, my family just respects that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, okay, that's what this kid's doing, bro, and that's what he wants to do, and like that's what he's gonna do. I also just like, I don't want to say I never gave a fuck about like what literally anybody think. Like I do take my family's, you know, opinions and thoughts of me, obviously, at a way higher level than a stranger. But I've also just always had the mindset of like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. And even if my mom was like, this isn't right, or my dad's like, it's probably not the best idea, I still did it anyways. And sometimes it was the best thing I ever did, and sometimes it was the worst thing I ever did. But it was always in my eyes like, I'm gonna learn this lesson on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear your advice and I thank you for it, and maybe I'll use some of it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it, and if I fuck up, like I just know I can't blame anybody else. I'm gonna blame myself, and if I win, same thing.
Yeah.
But it's like that ideology of just like, I have to learn this lesson on my own. Right. And I think that I really will say that this podcast has done that for me. I know for me personally.
Yeah.
That just like speaking my mind, being me, being the most authentic me in business, in life, and whatever, that this has given me that opportunity. And now, buddy, now I'm at a point I don't give a flying fuck. Like
Now the fuck's flying too.
Now the fucks are flying. Like, dude, I see some of the comments on YouTube, like on our channel, some people blasting us on TikTok, this, that, people hitting me up
TikTok,
personally.
we catch it.
But like, I love it though.
Yeah.
Like I love it. It fires me up. So I don't know. That's kind of my.
I think even going back to it, like if you're starting your own business and maybe you're doing something that's super trendy and not traditional at all, I think taking something from what you said is just, if you show that you're really confident in yourself, and you're going to hold yourself accountable no matter what. I think that those are two great steps that you should take when trying to kind of explain maybe to your parents, if that's what you're worried about or thinking about. Just be confident in the decisions you're making, and show them that you will be accountable whether you win or you lose.
Yeah.
I think that's what they want to see, right? If you're just like kind of scared about it, or maybe you seem timid about the decisions you're making, that's when parents, I feel like, come in and they're like, no, like this guy needs help right now, or this girl needs some help right now. I could see it in their eyes, right? But if you're there and you're like, nah, this is what I'm doing, I already have the plan, I'm gonna make this much, If I don't, I already got this ready for me. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, well, what am I gonna say to this guy right now?
Well, it's like it's like going into a pitch for a client.
Yeah.
If you go in confident, you know what I mean? You're already halfway there. If you're going into telling your parents like, or your family or whoever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, someone who relies on you to some extent, and you're like, yo, I'm taking this leap of faith, I'm doing this, but I know this is what it is, and I'm gonna, I'm guaranteeing that I'm gonna put 5 years of my life, hard work into this to grow it. What can someone really say to you, right? So I think that was the approach we've always taken since day one.
We got a question from my buddy Gianfranco Accardi.
Wow.
Gianfranco Accardi. When was the turning point in your business? I think there was many.
We've had a lot.
I think there's many turning points in the business. I think one turning point of a lot of startup businesses is when, because we all know when you start off your business and you're trying to get clients, the first people you're calling is your cousin, your buddy from high school, his girlfriend, then your grandfather, then your coach from high school basketball, and you're trying to see if they need your service, right?
Yep.
I think a turning point for every business is when you kind of get out of that and now you're starting to get clients that are not in that Rolodex and you're starting to get clients from outside of your circle. I think that's a huge turning point for businesses. I know that was a huge turning point for ours. That would be one for me. And then another one would be when the pandemic hit and we were forced to adapt our whole business 180 because we were all in pretty much, I would say 98% on events and nightlife. And that was taken away. So we had to kind of restructure our whole business and our services. I think that was a turning point, obviously.
And then this podcast.
Huge.
Those are definitely two big. And like I said, we've had a lot of turning points, but this podcast has just been a massive turning point for us. It gave us just so many fucking opportunities, personally, business-wise. And that's why we really started this thing. We really started this podcast with the intent of hopefully flow somehow, we didn't know how, but creating more content for ourselves, building a new channel for people to see us and hear us talk as professionals. I don't know about now, but back then, professionals. And that's what it did. As it grew, we had more business owners coming on speaking about their business, which gave us more insight on their business, how we could market a business like theirs. And that kind of grew and grew and grew and grew. And then, yeah, it just became a place where like it was a turning point because it gave us so much extra content to post, I think, too, where people were like, oh, shit, these guys are talking about marketing, talking about business. And when they heard us talk, that gave us an opportunity to speak to the masses, I'll say. A lot of people didn't watch our early episodes, but it gave us an opportunity to speak to more people and give our insight on the business and how social media was affecting businesses today. And so that opened a lot of doors for us. And then I think another turning point was, it's partially in the pandemic. I don't know. I think our first business trip away from Toronto. I think we did Tulum, right?
Yeah.
We did Mexico.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, we were able.
A TSN turning point.
Yeah, that was a big turning point for our business. Ernesto and myself, we went early 2020. We said, fuck this place. We dipped. We went to Mexico, brought our laptops, brought everything. And we spent, I think, 2 weeks there. Was it 2 weeks?
No, it was just more.
No. First one was 2 weeks,
Okay.
I think. First time was 2 weeks. And we spent more time in our condo, dark condo, than outside. But it gave us an opportunity to remove ourselves from the busy city where we had a lot of distractions, friends, family, this birthday, that birthday, this, come drink here, do this, da-da-da-da. Come smoke a joint with me here, no. To complete silence from that. And me and him just in this little fucking condo, just hustling, literally 16, 18-hour days, waking up straight to our computers, fitting in a run between, maybe some fucking food, work again, work. And that was the first time we had 2 weeks of that many hours of work put in. And it was just, obviously for us, maybe other people would be harder, but it was easy for us to do it outside of Toronto. So that really I feel in 2 weeks, our business progressed 5-6 months.
Yeah, that was insane.
So that was a big, those are some turning points on my end.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes you need to pull yourself away from what you're doing at the time.
Yeah.
And kind of just lock in. I think that's what we did in Tulum. We just fucking fucking locked right in.
Locked right in.
And got focused. And then we came back to Toronto in a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
Right? We're like, oh, we can do this. Like we
Yeah.
can, like, it was
We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll do that.
right.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of just being an entrepreneur. You're always surprising yourself with what more you can do as a person.
Yeah.
And like we went there and we're like, literally anyone else would have went to Tulum and just fucking went nuts.
Yeah.
Like, and we went there, and man, we went there. I was 27.
I was 24.
24.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Who's going there
Like, let's go.
and locking themselves in
Yeah.
and just working,
Yeah.
like, and I think that just, it attests to how much we care about the business, right?
Yeah. And how hard we're willing
Like the way
to
we
work.
look at it is like, okay, if we're going to go to Mexico,
Yeah.
we better work 3 times as hard
Yeah.
if we're going to go there.
Yep.
Like, and that's how we always been. Like, that's
I think it was like, yeah, like there's a big thing about just like, for us, we're big manifestors, as everyone knows. We've done a lot of manifesting online, posting cars and houses and shit that we, dream to have one day. And I think that is a big piece of also a lot of what we've already spoken about. It was like, we go out there, we put these our ambitions, and they're big ambitions and big dreams and big goals. We put them out there to the world, and like we do that with full confidence that we will one day have these things.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a test, right? Because we're like, we're gonna tell the world that one day we'll live on Bridle Path, or we'll have this Rolls Royce we want, or we'll have that yacht, or be here, or do this, or do that. And it's almost like it's a test for ourselves, like to go out and say, yo, we're going to do this. And then it's like, if we're going to go out, bro, if I'm going to go out and post that one day I'm going to live on the Bridle Path and pay $50 million for a house, like, bro, I can't be in Mexico partying. Like, you know what I mean? Those two things don't align.
There you
It's
go.
like my guy, Daniel G, saying like, your energy has to align with your goals, who you say you are, and then who you actually are on a day-to-day basis.
go.
So if I'm out here posting Bridle Path, Rolls Royces, this, that, $50 million homes, yachts, whatever, I'm posting that shit. I'm trying to tell people this is who I am, but then my actual energy and my fucking vibrations are down here, and they're vibrating on 20 shots of tequila in the fucking club with my homies and trying to flex. Like, they don't align. I'll never get there. But if I put myself in a place where people are doing that, but instead I'm fucking 16 hours grinding, prep for new business, deal with old clients, push the business forward, hiring, now my fucking energy's aligned, and I'll slowly move along that path to get to that end goal, right?
It's the same thing as like, there's an old saying, like if you're going to think of a red car, you're going to go out there and all you're going to see are red cars outside. You know, it happens all the time. Like, how many times that like, you're looking to buy a new car, you buy a new car,
Now you see
and
them
now all of a
everywhere.
sudden that car's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a perspective thing.
True.
So if you put yourself in a mindset where it's like, okay, this is my goals, this is where I have to be, your perspective will change too.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see things actually differently.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Because if you put yourself in a situation where it's like, I got to live on Bridle Path, now every time you have a conversation with someone, you're bringing that kind of energy where it's like, you're keeping that in mind. Like, no, I'm a person that I'm going to live there. So this is how I'm going to act right now. Or this is what I want to, this is how, or you're meeting someone who's, let's say, super wealthy. And now your conversation with them is different because you're trying to put yourself on that pedestal. So you're
speaking from that level.
You're speaking from that level, but you're asking different kind of questions. You're learning different things.
Yeah.
As if, let's say, you don't have any goals or aspirations or anything. You sit down with someone, or you meet someone, or you come across, you're at an event with all these. You're not going to see that kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Because you're not putting yourself in that. You're not putting yourself in that. In that aura of just like, soaking that stuff in because you don't even care to have it. It's not your goal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No. I agree with you. I think I think more and more recently, I've tried to tell myself like, this is who I want to be. And so I try to move my conversations. I'm moving like that. So if I'm the guy who lives on Bridle Path, has a has $1 billion company, and, has all these things that I want, I have to act like that today.
Yeah.
Like, I have to act like I'm already that guy.
There you go.
Right? And so that I have to carry that with me, the way that I fucking walk, the way that I talk, the way that I converse, the way that I move in every way.
Yeah.
Right? I can't sit here and post these things. Oh, bro, I'm gonna live on the bridle path. Like I'm saying,
No,
going
you
back
gotta
to it.
actually live
But
it.
then exactly. But then I'm doing shit that nobody that lives on the bridal path would ever do.
Yeah,
like I'm using that as an example, but you know what I mean. Like
it's all mindset, you know. And like you can take a small example, like you know, when you're a student and you go to school, you know.
Yeah.
And like I used to do this all the time. Sometimes I'd wake up and I'd be like, you know what, fuck this. I fucking hate school.
yeah,
Like I actually hate it. This is the worst thing ever. I'm not learning anything. Why do I have to keep going? It's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And then I would go to class that day and not take in a thing.
100%.
But then there were some days where it's like, you know what, like, okay, I'm grateful I have this opportunity. I get to go learn, maybe meet someone new, maybe retain some piece of information that's good, get my degree, get a good grade, make my parents happy, blah, blah. And then it's a different mind. Then you're going into that class. You're sitting at the front. You have your notebook out.
Yeah.
And now you're taking something in.
Yes.
So it's a perspective thing, right? And that goes with you all the way through life, right?
It's every day.
I don't even know what the
It's
question was now.
yeah. It's. I mean, yeah. I don't know how the fuck we got here.
Yeah, it was the turning point of business, but wow.
Yeah, wow. It's every day.
Yeah.
I'll end it off with decide who you want to be, or at least the direction you want to go, and think about a person that is at that point and move how you think they would move every day. Even though you're not there yet, move like that.
Move like that.
Move like that.
My guy, fuck Banks. At fuck Banks. but the U is with the V, you know?
It's the
So it's
fuck
like
Banks? You fuck
Banks.
Banks.
What up, my guy? That's the guy who fucking goes on top of skyscrapers and takes pictures and shit.
He's doing that skit.
Crazy
I
shit.
could never do that, bro.
Crazy shit. He said he's gonna do one with with the MBH socks or some shit. I was like, bro,
okay,
please.
Okay.
What's your end goal around what you're doing with the podcast and interview?
Oh, man.
I mean, fuck. This it's changing a lot. It changes a lot, you know, because when we started, I think, like you said, we were looking at just building more content for our personal brand, getting more attention to us, building some legitimacy by talking about marketing while we're selling marketing.
Yeah.
Like those were the initial
No,
goals.
that was that was it.
That was it.
We were like, if you read the first bio of the podcast, it was like serial entrepreneurs, Ernesto and Anthony, fucking talk marketing, business. Like
honestly, bro, like I think that our podcast has the potential to be one of the biggest in North America.
I'd say global.
Yeah. I'm just trying to, build the foundation.
Okay, build the foundation.
And our plan in terms of like where we want to take it and what our plan is now is, I think that's something we want to be one of the biggest podcasts in the world. And we want to be one of the podcasts, I think, I still feel this way, that want to provide value at all times. You know what I mean? And I think that there's a lot of huge podcasts nowadays with a lot of great famous hosts.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I feel like they get caught up in just talking about their lives and like
how famous
they are and all the famous things they do, which is great. I'm sure people love that, right? But at the same time,
people like it. I wouldn't say that's crazy value, but
no, it's not value at all. There's no value there unless you really like, let's say, the host and you want to learn more about the host and what they do day to day. That's fine and okay, that makes sense. But I think taking an approach where it's like a Joe Rogan-esque conversation where there's so much value in Joe Rogan's conversation.
I think a big thing about our podcast, and you would agree, I'm sure you'd agree, is we like to talk to people about their journey. So if we can bring on, going forward, more and more people who are at the elite level of their industry or whatever they do on a day-to-day basis, their job, their business, whatever, and just learn about their come up. And let our viewers who maybe are in that industry, are interested in it, or just are interested in these come up stories and whatnot, let them dive into that. I don't know if there's a podcast, I haven't personally seen one, who really gets into like people's
What's that guy's name?
Come up?
What's that guy's name?
Jay Shetty?
No. The other guy, he has like he looks like he's like kind of Persian. He's like a taller guy.
Oh, bald head? No.
Maybe,
oh, is he jacked?
He's kind of jacked. Yeah. He sat down with everyone. I think he kind of talks about journeys and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But again, like there's obviously some people out there, but I think for our demographic and our the generation of people that listen to us,
yeah,
I think for us being younger, I don't think there's much out there. You know what I mean?
I think there's that. And I think another thing about our podcast and the value we try to bring to people is just be you.
Yeah.
you know, like you can be you and that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And that's why we try and bring different people on, because they're all cool in their own way, right? They're all people that are doing whatever the fuck 100%, they want.
And we're trying to showcase just that they're fucking cool and they're just themselves. And then I think even for our host episodes, we try and do that too. We try and give you guys like the rawest versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys think it's cool. And if you don't, whatever. But I think that's a big thing. And then I think one thing I will mention, obviously, because our podcast has grown and gone through, our seasons have all been a little bit different than each other to some extent. I think we will never shy away from using this platform to talk about relevant things in today's date. Obviously, we did that a lot with government overreach and things like that in Canada over the last season or so. And I think that we'll always use this platform for that, to speak on things that we think need to be spoken on and don't get enough attention or aren't getting the right attention from the mainstream. But what's your end goal? What's the end goal? For me personally, sorry. What's your end goal? I'm going to tell you what mine is.
No, go ahead.
Wow, I'm such a fucking bad interviewer. For me, end goal, I don't think we should ever stop running this podcast. Like I'm down to be fucking 50 and still doing this.
Same.
Like, and because we'll grow as people, we'll have different things in our lives that happen and more value that we can bring as we go through life and experience things. And hopefully just get to bring on some of the most interesting people in the world.
That would be my end goal. Like my end goal is sitting down with like fucking Elon Musk, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like some fucked up crazy guests. Like obviously we have a ways to go, but bringing people with like a lot of influence, obviously, and see how they grew their legacy, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
If you're someone like that. And then bringing on people, like, I think a goal of ours was always to bring on people that might not even be famous as fuck, but they have a crazy cool story that maybe a lot of people haven't heard. There's so many successful people out there that none of us have heard of.
Yeah.
None of us.
100%.
None of us. All of you guys and then us as well. Like,
yeah.
So, and I think we've learned that through bringing on people we haven't known and being like, damn, did you hear that story?
Yeah.
Like, you hear what this guy did? So I think bringing on people that may not have a lot of light being shed on them, but they do have a crazy interesting or educational story, or they've just done something amazing that needs to be told. So I think that's something that we should keep doing. And I think as we get bigger, a bigger platform, we'll be able to do that a lot more, right?
Yeah. And I think to add to that is, I would say, like traveling, like being able to go shoot the MBH podcast in India, Dubai, Asia, fucking Europe, like.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be cool. And just giving you guys more of a, let's say, even cultural experience.
Thank you, Fuck Banks, for the question. Great question, by the way.
Yeah, great question.
We got my guy, Vittorio Pirone, owner of Posticino Ristorante.
Pirone.
Everyone go check out Posticino Ristorante. It's in Etobicoke, Ontario, Canada.
Boom.
Great Italian food. VP, he asks, how does how's it?
Come on, bro.
I feel like Joe Biden right now. No. How does the approach to growing your business change during a recession? I'm gonna say that you're probably gonna have to cut your costs. You're gonna be spending less money in a recession. And you're going to have to figure out ways to still keep attention on your brand, on your business, right? So obviously use social media to stay relevant, because that's what everyone cares about, especially as a restaurant, hospitality. People care if you're relevant. That's the only reason they're going to come to you in the first place. Unless they're like a diehard fan, they're at your place every Saturday, fucking 7:00. But 90% of people, they're going places to eat or drink because it's relevant. So no matter what happens in this in the society, I guess, in terms of a recession, I would just make sure that my brand is still relevant throughout that recession, right? So whether that's getting creative with content, with bloggers, with collaborations, with charities, with giving back. It's always good to give back, especially in a time like that. It shows a lot about your brand and your team and what you guys stand for. So I think staying relevant and giving back, I think that's super important. Obviously, when it comes to the nitty gritty, you're going to have to cut costs.
Yeah.
Don't cut your marketing costs, though. I'll tell you right now,
was
because you're gonna have to double down on that. I'm not just saying that.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Because we just had a pandemic, and we seen venues in the hospitality industry that closed down, and then we seen ones that stuck it out and made sure that they stayed relevant. And right now, the ones winning are the ones who stuck around and stayed relevant and doubled down on their brand. So I think that's what you need to do. Obviously, in terms of the financials,
yeah,
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about more your marketing as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. Like on that last point, just do not cut your marketing budget. I'm not saying go spend millions of dollars, but your market, especially for VP as a restaurant, it's all about who's relevant.
Yep.
Sometimes the food doesn't even matter if the fucking food's good or the drinks are good. It's just, is it the cool, relevant spot to go? Does social media tell me this place is cool and relevant?
Yeah.
I will go there no matter what. And I think restaurants and shit is something that people, even when they have no money, will still spend money on.
Of course.
So you're kind of okay in that sense. And but yeah, push the marketing, keep the brand alive, let people know it's relevant, stay relevant, do your best to do that. And there's only one place nowadays to do that, and that's social media. So,
yeah, I mean, you have to, just going back to it, you have to adapt, right? So we've seen it during the pandemic. What happened? A lot of restaurants, they created a new menu so that was easier for Uber Eats. They started creating, let's say, take-home kits so that people can order it and take it home and eat it there. I mean, you're going to have to get creative, but at the end of the day, I think the biggest part of it is staying relevant.
Agreed. Any more business questions? Because mine are all kind of
I got some.
People want to fucking ask me crazy shit.
I got one from Bailey Joy. What up, Bailey?
Hi, Bailey.
What up, Bailey? You guys can check out Bailey at Sweat and Tonic. Killing it. She's a trainer there. Shout out, Bailey. Bailey.
Swaley,
Bailey. So she asks, in terms of marketing, social media marketing, she wants to know frequency versus quality. So I guess that's the same as kind of, quantity over quality, quantity versus quality. When I was first growing my page, quantity.
Yeah.
That's, I think, when you're initially growing your page, and I should still be growing my page,
Yeah, relax, bro. Bro, I'm done, bro.
Yeah, but when I first started growing my page, I would focus on quantity on the stories, and quantity on my feed. Now, with the feed stuff, though, you have to kind of give people different looks.
That's why this guy's 500 outfits.
Different looks. You have to give people different looks into your life, right? Now, don't post every day the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Show people a different side of you, but post that all the time. So if there's 5 different sides of you, you know what to do.
Yeah, just kind of
cycle through them so that in a couple of weeks, people kind of know every side of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, when you're really starting, you're going to have to push a lot of quantity, because you can make one quality piece if you want a month, but nobody's going to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to have to build your page and build your community by a lot of quantity in terms of content. But I'm always going to go back to it. The main thing for me is community management.
Yeah.
It's just being on your page day to day, interacting with people, following people, DMing people, answering your comments, replying to their stories. That is what the most important part is for me. With the content, that's just gonna kind of give it a little boost.
Yeah, I think what you were gonna say, you didn't end up saying it, but what you were gonna say was, as you start to build the community and people get used to you posting consistently, so you start with quantity over quality for sure. But even then, our iPhones, they're great quality. You could shoot great quality with your phone. Everyone has
I'm not saying put shitty quality. I'm just saying you don't need a huge production.
Yes. But as time goes on and people get used to seeing you and your brand starts growing, you can start to move the needle a bit and step away from posting every day, to every other day, every 3 days, whatever, but starting to also work in some more quality content.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So there's kind of a sweet spot, and that sweet spot's different for everybody depending on how far you want to grow, how big you want to get. But I'd say that I agree. And then I would just say again, I would agree with you in that the community management aspect of it, just man, you know how good it feels that when you post a story and someone responds something positive towards your story, if you know how good it feels to get a like or to get a good DM, a cool DM or anything like that, a good story response, like why wouldn't you just continue doing that for other people to help build your community? It will help 100%. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm on that point. At the beginning, quantity over quality, that can eventually start to move a little bit, but then community management always, every day.
My guy, Pat Lisi.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Everybody go check out my guy, Pat Lisi. He has probably the best stories in the game. His IG story game, better than anyone's ever seen.
It is the top of the top.
Please just
Top
go
of the
follow
top.
him and just go watch his stories,
Top
because
of
you
the
will
top.
thank me. You will thank me. And Pat Lisi, thank you for posting those stories all the time. It's amazing. It makes my day.
Don't blow his head up, eh?
Okay. Can someone successfully fake it till they make it? Is that a real thing? That's a question. I think that you can. I mean, I've definitely used the method myself
Same.
many times,
Yep.
and there's still times where I still use it. Fake it till you make it.
Can you successfully do it?
Yeah, you can. There's gonna be a time where you have to make it. You know, like you're actually gonna have to make it. In some sort of sense, make it whatever way you've been faking
Yeah.
it. You understand?
Yeah.
And it has to be it has to be realistic. Okay? It has to be realistic. And this is where you have to understand human psychology and what people will think if you say something to them or show them something.
Okay.
So if you're trying to fake it till you make it, that's fine. But if you just started off as a photographer, okay, and you want to fake it, don't buy a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Like that's too much.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna there's ways to do it where it's like, okay, you know what? Through social media, you can showcase a lot of your work.
Yeah.
You can showcase even more work than you actually have.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Going back to it, when I said at the beginning, Neighborhood really focused on its own marketing. We did that, and we posted all our work at all times. We only did work and then posted it. Literally, we did work just to post it.
Yeah.
And when we did that, that's technically showing everyone that we're bigger than we were,
Yeah.
right? Because at the same time, we were just three people,
Fucking going at it. Yeah.
and people looked at us like, wow, these guys must be massive. That's the same kind of sense, right? So you're gonna have to make it. You're gonna have to make it one day. That's my. I don't think you can go all the
harder.
way. I don't think you can go all the way, man.
I think it's harder now though.
It is harder
A
now
lot
because it's so easy to fake it,
'Cause
and people are ready for the fake stuff.
Well, because the fake it or make it method on social media was very easy back in the day. You'd get guys literally, let's say, you know, they're claiming to be some great entrepreneur, let's say,
Yeah.
and then they would rent a Lambo, take a pic with it, and now they had a Lambo. And like people were like, damn, that's crazy. No. But then people caught on. It's like, bro, how come every crypto entrepreneur I know has the same purple Lambo?
Yeah.
And then you start, okay, it's like these guys are fucking faking it.
Yeah.
So it's gotten harder now because people have realized that a lot of people on social media are faking their lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think I'd say a majority of people are. But yeah, it's going to get to a point where you can use that fake it method a little bit to get the ball rolling.
You have to use it as leverage to get you where you're actually trying to make it.
But
you know?
but like you said, at some point you're gonna actually have to do the work, or someone's gonna catch you in person, and your energy has to match the energy you've been showing online.
has to.
So it's like you can't claim to be this, you know, crazy crypto guy or crypto girl or whatever, and then someone, you know, a fan catches you or someone who follows you catches you, you know, out and about, and they're like, hey, ask you a question about like, oh, this specific coin or this crypto coin or whatever, and you're like, they're gonna be like, but bro, you were just like snapping on your story about it like 2 days ago. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you can fake it to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's harder nowadays than it was before on social media.
Let's say you're a real estate agent. Okay.
Okay.
And you're just starting off.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I want to go into the luxury market. Now, you see this all the time. You see agents showcasing this penthouse that it's not their listing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, I know. I understand.
So there's a lot of agents that do that. That's fine. Do it. I would probably do the same thing if I was trying to get into luxury.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us a tour of the first house that's not your listing. Beautiful. Give us the second one. Beautiful. 3 weeks later, give us another one. Fine. But 2 years later, that listing better be yours.
Yeah. That's something you got to be doing the work in the back end.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's all fun and games, but at the end of the day, if let's say your audience actually comes to you now for a service and you can't provide it,
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
You got to start providing.
You got to start providing. You understand?
You've been faking it and not making it.
You can fake it a certain amount, but like I said, there's a sweet spot where you got to stop and show people you made it now, or show people you're doing something more than that.
And that spot is sweet.
It's super sweet. It's different in every industry. It's different per person.
Yeah.
It's very different. But let's say, I mean, it's all about how relevant you are at the time, right? If you're posting every day and it's, let's say it's not going back to, it's not your listing, you're posting every day, you're going to have a lot of attention. So you better be ready for that.
Yeah.
If someone comes to you and says, hey, listen, I just saw you post 10 listings that are all penthouses. I have a penthouse. Can you sell it?
Yeah.
Now it's game time.
Yeah. Now you better know how to sell it.
Now you better know how to sell it.
Yeah.
Because that guy's been watching all your reels,
thinking
you could sell all kinds.
Dude, you know how many times I see fucking broads, real estate broads, who are just like showcasing like a $10 million penthouse.
Listen. I would personally do that if I was a real estate agent.
No, especially if I was a real estate broad. But I'm just saying, you know how many times I see that, and then I wonder, and I only wonder for like 2 seconds, but I wonder for those 2 seconds, like if I asked her to sell my luxury penthouse, like could she?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
That's the moment you know.
That's the moment you know. Yeah, exactly.
If the fake it worked up until the make it.
It's like Pat Lisi, for example. Okay.
It's like Pat Lisi.
How many times are you gonna post the Cassius fucking sign until you actually open it?
Okay,
bro.
So now you're in the sweet spot right now, dude. Okay,
close,
because a couple more Cassius posts and I don't see it, there's gonna be fucking all kinds.
If I don't see the door open, the chef cooking, and the food on my plate, you've been faking it, bro. I'm gonna say
just
shit.
for
You've
some
been faking
context,
it, bro.
the guy who asked the question, Pat Lisi, he's opening up a venue on King Street in Toronto in the fucking hospitality district.
Yeah, the best spot.
But the problem is he's been opening it for 7 years. That's the only issue I'm having. I'm cool with everything else. No, Pat, we love you, bro.
Yeah,
and when Cassius opens up at it, I'm going to fucking open up.
Yo, trust me.
I'm going to open that place up, bro.
Trust me.
Thank you, Pat Lisi. Like I said, go check him out. Best stories in the game.
Yeah, one more. It's got to be juicy.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is a lot.
It's got to be juicy, dude. Think
I
very hard about it. Because mine are fucked. Bro, anyone who
maybe
follows
we could
me,
do 2 more.
Okay.
We'll do 2 quick, okay? So, my guy Dev Lithian, guy's got thighs of steel. No? Dev Lithian?
The guy's got calves of steel, dude.
That guy is on his fucking stationary bike at this moment
Right now.
making tracks while he's making his shake that he's gonna drink while he's on the bike.
While he's laying tile all at one time. Okay, go on.
This guy does it all.
What does he want to know?
What was the catalyst that set off your social media growth?
There wasn't one thing. It just wasn't one thing. For me, at least. The catalyst was what we just spoke about. Posting content consistently. That's it.
That's all, Dev.
I'm sorry. I
I'm
didn't
sorry,
mean to
Dev, but we answer this a
break that
lot.
line.
We answer this a lot.
No,
don't
but
we?
the catalyst, I don't know. There wasn't we didn't have a moment where we created one piece of content that went viral.
It was one long moment.
We're still in it.
Yeah, we're still in the moment. So we'll let you know when the moment's done.
Yeah.
How it was.
Perfect. Thanks, bro. Love you.
Appreciate you. Our guy, Brandon Anthony, official.
Boom.
Been loving the content, bud.
Yeah.
Keep posting. Keep getting out there. Best method to signing clients when starting as an agency versus a freelancer. Listen, bruh, you're going to have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do some work. I mean, you have to do some work to show for, right? So that might even look pro bono at the beginning. Listen, if I start an agency by myself, I'll be honest.
Shout out my guy Bono, by the way.
Shout out my guy pro bono right now.
He's a pro. Okay. Sorry.
But
yeah.
I think doing some work, especially if you're very new to the industry, if you've done any work in the past, use that on your resume, but definitely try working with some businesses and brands on a trial basis, right? Test it out. Do a graphic for them, create their website, give them a strategy, but do something that you can use on your resume as well, right? So you can literally build up your resume with 100 clients that you never charged and then go get your first one, realistically.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to start with smaller brands, right? So
you got to do shit for free. You got to do shit for hoping that they sign you later, or you got to do shit and lose money, but it's all about your portfolio. I'll even try and connect that from an agency to, let's say, a clothing brand. Okay. People aren't just going to copy your shit at the beginning just when you start it. That's the hardest thing. But if you have a clothing brand and you're trying to, start giving shit to people for free. People who are, you know, influencers or have some type of influence, create cool content, give them shit, right? So they can start fucking posting it. And now to other people, it looks like, oh shit, these people copped it. And they didn't even cop it. You gave it to them for free, but it's that whole thing, right? So
like you should learn how to use influencers in any business if you can.
But I would just say from a overlook of any business, work for free at the beginning, work for very cheap, just to build a portfolio. It's all about building your portfolio. I know that there's this like weird thing in the creative world where they're like, oh, working or doing shit for cheap to, you know, for exposure is like not a good thing. Like
that's so stupid.
Pay me my rate.
Like for 4 years, I worked for free and did things for exposure.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like that's,
and the same people that are saying don't do that are the same people that have no jobs.
But they're the same people that would message me and ask me like, oh, like how should I do this?
I know.
You're gonna have to do things for free. You gotta prove yourself, because at the end of the day, you're like, if you're just starting off, I'm sorry to say this, but you're nobody.
100%.
Like that's just a fact, right? So if you're nobody, how you gonna convince people to work with you? You gotta show them that you're fucking busy, that you work with a lot of people, that you're willing to go above and beyond as well,
dude.
So if someone signs a contract with you for a website, buddy, you better do something else. You better do that website and you better do something else.
Well, look,
because right now that person has someone for a website that they've been using for 10 years that they don't even need to change.
Let me use,
you know what I mean?
Let me use a fucking a little analogy to even go on top of what I'm saying. This whole like, don't do work for exposure, don't do work for cheaper, just because they're also telling you you're gonna get great exposure. That is all bullshit. Okay, use a professional athlete who's finally just made it to the NBA. He played his whole fucking career, 20 years, for exposure. Spent money. His family had to spend money for shoes, spend money to sign up to teams and be in leagues, spend money to travel and hotels and go to these tournaments and this and that. He lost money. He spent money to build his portfolio, to build his exposure. But he trusted in himself. He worked hard and he knew he'd get to the league one day. So it's the same thing with fucking, let's say, creatives. Or people in an industry world or that type of thing. Oh, don't do shit for exposure. That's fucking bullshit. How do you expect Nike and Apple and these massive brands, or even if that's not, maybe if you're looking for something lower, like how do you expect big, real existing companies to want to pay you good money when you have nothing to show?
I feel like creatives just say that though. Like they just say, like, I'll go on, let's say I'm a creator and I'll go on my story. Oh, all this work for exposure, like I'm not doing that. Creators shouldn't do this. I might be only saying that so you don't take the gig for just exposure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because then
like I'm not gonna.
No, I've seen that. I've seen them say like, oh, because then also when you take this gig for exposure or you do it for half price, because
then I lose this.
Then like now you've lowered. Yeah, it devalues my work. That's fucking bullshit. If your work's good, people are gonna pay for it. Shut the fuck up. I hate creators. I'm sorry, especially in our business, we were so many of them, and so many times like. We've given people great opportunities, and it was like, oh, sorry, I'm not working. All right, bro, fuck off.
Like if first of all, if you don't want to work for exposure because you're so tied to, let's say, the money aspect of it, you're probably doing something that you shouldn't do.
100%. Well, you don't love it. I would say you don't really actually love it.
You don't have a passion for it, because if you had a passion for it, you'd want to create something that person was in awe about. And then comes back to you and says, damn, next time I got to pay you, or let's do this and I'm going to pay you for this.
100%. Or you're just not stupid. You know, you did the work for half the price because you knew it'd be decent, at least even if it was decent exposure. But you went above and beyond, created this crazy piece of art, video, photo shoot, whatever. That like, bro, it gave you the opportunity to create a fucking portfolio piece that you're going to market now, and you put so much love and passion into that already know it's going to bring you another client or another 5 or 10 down the road. You don't actually love it. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I've been starting to think that it's like, because even when me or you had to do something, and it's like, yo, we're not getting paid for this right now. We're just gonna we just did it because first of all, for us it's different. We know it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
We knew it was part of the process because we already been through a process. Let's say with Nightlife, where we had to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same thing. You go to, let's say you go work at a club, and the first night they're like, bro, you're getting $50. That's all cool.
Yeah, I did it.
But watch after the night when I bring 100 people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a different conversation. But you're not going there as a new promoter saying, bro, I need $10,000. This is what's going to go down, or else I'm not doing a thing.
Yeah. And you're also like, especially at the beginning, and this is for any business that works with other businesses, if you're at the beginning, you're probably working with smaller businesses who just don't have the budget.
100%.
So also don't be a piece of shit and try and fucking charge them money you know they can't afford for a video, like, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like
just think about what people think about. You understand? Like that's
It's called
all I gotta
common
say.
sense. It's called common sense.
If you're in your own mind and you're like going to see a client and you're going to try and charge them, put yourself in their shoes. Think about what they might think when you try to overcharge being a new person in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put yourself in their shoes and say, okay, if I was them, would I actually pay me right now?
This much?
And be honest.
Yeah.
Because if it's no,
Yeah.
then it should be no.
Yeah, exactly. Then you should lower the price.
But don't lie to yourself, because then it's gonna come off, and we're gonna understand you're lying. You
there's gonna be a lot of things we're gonna talk about.
know, right? But anyways,
guys, sorry, we went on a little tangent there. Damn. I think we went off on this episode.
we went off.
This is a pretty long one.
yeah,
Guys,
appreciate all the questions.
Yeah,
though, straight up.
seriously, and you know we'll continue doing them. Guys, we made it this far. We love you. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Let's get to 30,000, please. Okay. Like the video, comment. Let us know what you think of these episodes. Let us know what you think of our answers. Let us know what you think of everything in general. Love us, hate us. We love all the fucking content, all the comments.
Hit that notification
button. Yeah.
The little bell, bing, bing.
So that you know, we always get at the beginning of our episodes, we always get the little Notif gang people be like, yo, I'm Notif gang. Yo, we love you, Notif gang, okay? And guys, we're almost at the end of the season, so we got some big bangers coming up after this episode. So stay tuned for that. We love you guys. Stay safe, stay hungry, and it's grind season, baby. On that note, we are out.
We'll be right back.